Hi, my name is Captain Peter Grunau, and today we are here to have an online lesson in Commercial Admiralty Law. So the topic what we have for today is off-hire and off-hire clauses. So in every time charter, the charterer has the obligation to pay hire to the ship owner. That is the obligation out of the charter party for the time the ship is hired by the charterer, or what we call chartering. So, but there are events where the charterer is not paying for this, and that we call off-hire events, and these off-hire clauses are part of the charter party, what we will discuss now. So the charterer have to pay hire if he is chartering the ship for a certain time period. So therefore, the hire will be paid to the owner. But there are events where the charterer do not have to pay a hire. That means where he has to achieve the hire and where he has the obligation also not to pay the hire. So there are the off-hire clauses what we have in the charter party. So these charter parties, what we will find in the charter party are these clauses, for example. And the clause clearly defines the event when a ship will be off-hire. So, in the event of time lost due to deficiency of store, in manning, machinery and equipment, breakdown, docking, stranding, fire, or any damage to the vessel preventing her, and now the important one, from the proper operation, the payment of the charter hire will be ceased until the vessel is in a state of resumed her service again. So this is the off-hire clause. And this off-hire clause is in all of the charter parties. But there is always a but. So the obligation to pay hire, we learned already, is by the charterer. But there is additional clause, and this clause, which is part of the off-hire clause, says, however, should the vessel alter course to avoid bad weather or be driven into port or anchorage by stress of weather, the vessel shall remain on hire and all costs thereby incurred shall be for charterer's account. This means if the master will face severe weather condition and he have to alter the course to save cargo, ship and crew, then that is not an off-hire, and the charterer can now not claim for an off-hire because the ship will be delayed. For example, the master have to alter the course due to a tropical storm. This is not an off-hire. So which means the off-hire clause explains the event but also the exceptions. So what type of off-hire clauses we know, and that is important. We know first the net lost time and the period lost time of off-hire. The first one is more owner-friendly, and the second one is charterer-friendly. Net loss time means the time lost during the event the ship is off-hire. That means only the time will be counted where the ship is prevented from its full working. That means as soon as the ship is back, then and can do the next service, for example, discharging or loading, the ship is back and on hire. So, and the other one is a period loss of time. That means the whole period from the event where it starts until the end, which is defined in the charter party, will be an off-hire event. So here are some examples what we have to discuss. The net loss off hire is mostly in the NYPE, that means the New York Produce Exchange Form, that's the charter party. And here we have it from the New York Exchange Form in 1946. So which means the ship is discharging and was delayed by 15 days due to the fact that her cargo was damaged by leakage through defective hatch cups. What we can see here are the damages clearly visible and therefore more difficult to discharge. However, the ship herself was perfectly efficient in the performance of the discharging function. So there was no damage to the ship but to the cranes. So the charter party, as we said, was closed on the NYPE 46, and now the charterer claims off-hire for the delay days of 15 days. Is this claim now justified? And this is a dispute what we always have. To answer this question, no, it's not. Because the ship is not prevented for the full working. So the ship can still discharge, and her job is to discharge the cargo. and that the ship is possible to do. Okay, takes a little bit more time, but the ship can discharge. Therefore, no off-hire. So it is different if you have a period loss of time. The other one is a period loss of time. And the period loss of time describes the whole period where the ship will be off hire from the event until the ship is back on her so-called resumed voyage. So let us see, that is the net loss of time that we can see. Now the ship has here the breakdown of the engine, is drifting during the repairs, and the ship is brought back here at this time 1930. So which means this is net loss time. The time here from the breakdown until the ship is repaired is net loss time, because now the ship is still ready to go to her next job, fulfilling the work, the full workload, means loading or discharging, because it is closed under the NYPE 1946, clause number 15, and these are the breakdowns. That means that are the off-hires of this clause. So the difference is here the period loss of time. Also here we have a breakdown in the engine. The ship is drifting now into this position. The engine is repaired, and now the ship will be on hire again if she has a so-called resumed voyage. That means that the charter party said the ship have to be at the same position where the breakdown took place, or in a more advanced position for the charterer. So that means here it will be also accepted, and that is a period. That means the whole time from here, ship is drifting, repaired, until she is back here and can resume the voyage, is a period loss of time and not a net loss of time. So therefore, what has the master to do? The master must make a statement of fact and have now to administer the whole process. That means you have to write down what is fuel oil, what we had on board as the ship had the breakdown or the event of the off-hire, the diesel oil and the lube oil. The lube oil actually is not so important, but only for the charterer, because in a time charterer, the charterer will pay only for the diesel and for the fuel oil. Then when it starts, when it ends, the total time, and when it's a resumed voyage, here, period loss of time, resumed voyage is here 23:30, and the repair only 10.2 hours. So which means we have 6.8 hours where we have more time. In a net loss of time, this is the time counted. In a period, this whole time will be counted. And the fuel oil which are on board, if the period, or let's say if the event of off-hire is over, and latitude and longitude where the breakdown or the event of off-hire takes place. So let us summarize. Off-hire events are clearly defined in the charter part. Number one. Number two, deduct from hire is usually measured by the time lost due to interruption or delay in the performance of the service required of the vessel caused by the off-hire event. Such provisions, for example, clause number 15 in the NYPE form, are known as net loss time clause. They are not measured by the duration of the off-hire event itself, but rather by the period time lost within that duration. So, and the last one is the period clause of hire. It's no hire shall be payable until the vessel is ready here and in an efficient state to resume the service. Different to this, from a position no less favorable to the charterer than that at which the off-hire event began. So that is in a short form what we have off-hire, and now you know why we have such disputes between charterer and owner if it comes to this off-hire. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.